was also at that same high school with Liz, my wife, and we saw so many cool things happen. And actually, before Dan Davison, who's not here this morning, he was preaching, he asked us all to pray to God and ask for words of knowledge, so for names of people and maybe what they needed to get healed from. And so during the worship time, I was praying, and I kept getting a name in my head, Dennis, and it kept interrupting me, and I was kind of like, God, I'm trying to worship, but I knew it was from him, and then I was praying into it, but I didn't hear what the thing was that the need was for him, and I knew that I should tell Dan this, like before he went up on the stage, I should tell him the name Dennis, but because I didn't have the kind of the word of knowledge to go with the name, I kind of held back. Maybe there was a bit of fear of getting it wrong, but I kind of held back, and then Dan went on stage to preach, and right when he got up there, he saw somebody in the crowd with crutches, and he asked him to come on the stage, and the kid came up onto the stage, and he asked him what his name was, and lo and behold, his name was Dennis, and I just started laughing, and I was like, it's Dennis, and Liz is like, yeah, so what? And I was like, no, you don't understand, God was telling me this kid's name, all the way through worship, he's going to do something. And so Dan, in front of everybody, just started going for it and praying for him. And Dennis had a lot of pain in it. He broke his ankle, basically, and he was on crutches. And the pain went down a lot, and he was doing a lot better, but he still went off the stage in his crutches. And so I felt like God wouldn't have told me his name if he wasn't going to, do something even more than that. I just felt like God wanted to heal him 100%. So during the service, I went over and found where he was sitting, and at that point, actually, he didn't need his crutches anymore, which is a miracle, and he was able to stand up, but he said there was still some pain in his ankle, and I asked him, I also learned this in Kenya, when you're praying for healings, it's a really good idea to interview people ahead of time and ask them where the pain's at, what they can't do, because sometimes a miracle might have happened, and you won't know because you didn't know where it was before and how much it's come since. So anyways, I learned that. It's a side note. And so I asked him, and he's like, yeah, it's like I can stand, which I wasn't able to do on my own strength, but I can't walk quickly or run. And so I said, you know what, Dennis, God was talking to me about you during the service and was saying your name, and I just have faith that he's going to heal you 100%. Do you believe that? And he's like, yes. So as to not be a distraction, we went outside the door of the church where we were at, and we were just standing outside. And I just felt like God wanted us to start walking together quickly, back and forth. And so we started walking, and then we started walking faster, and then we started running back and forth. And he was completely healed, which is amazing. Yeah, which is awesome.